This evening, the opposition leader vows to continue his refusal to shake the president's hand. Over 50 Pigeon Island residents to receive land titles. Hydromet office predicts rain for the remainder of the year. In the region, Venezuelans continue to flee to Colombia in search of better life. And internationally, Nigeria ramps up construction of pipelines delivering gas to Europe. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. In an effort to regularize the Pigeon Island, Chatumarga, East Coast Demerara, the government, through the Central Housing and Planning Authority, will issue approximately 52 families with their certificates of titles for land they have been illegally occupying for years. Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Susan Rodriguez, made this announcement during a cabinet outreach led by President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali on Tuesday. The area fell under the National Industrial and Commercial Investments Limited. However, the Central Housing and Planning Authority has engaged NISL to have the lands transferred to CHPA to advance the process. Following this, according to Minister Rodriguez, the region will be subdivided, and by the end of this year, the government will start dispersing the eagerly awaited title documents for the properties. Once the process is completed, the residents will be able to access electricity, water, and other amenities that comes with a wholesome community. The minister added that the ministry would deal expeditiously with pending applications from the residents in the CHPA database. The residents expressed their satisfaction with the move by the government and the Ministry of Central Housing and Planning Authority to regularize the area. Aubrey Norton, the head of the opposition, has vowed to keep on refusing to shake President Ali's hand until the president begins treating all Guyanese equally. Esther Soared has more details.
I want people to know I shake hands, but I do not shake hands with my oppressors.
That was opposition leader Aubrey Norton as he addressed over 3,000 persons at the APNU-AFC rally at the Burnham Court Parade Ground on Middle Street on Tuesday evening. Norton had refused to shake the hand of the President Irfan Ali during an emancipation celebration held at the Stelling Road in Amsterdam Berbice on Monday, August 1st. The opposition leader stated that the PPP administration was responsible for discriminatory access to lands, extrajudicial killings, and unequal access to Guyana's wealth. Upon the arrival of the president at the event, observed under the theme Celebrating Our Emancipation and Cultural Diversity, he was greeted with hugs and smiles from persons gathered as he made his way to his seat. However, the opposition delegation refused to shake the president's hands. Norton, during the rally, vowed that he would continue to refuse to shake the hands with the president, citing him as an oppressor.
I can shake hands if you treat me, if you treat my people, if you treat all Guyanese as equal, you will get a handshake. But for now, you could put the handshake, according to what Born used to say, where paddy putty nuts. My friends, it is easy for some to talk about protocol and decorum, but if they go into our villages, they will understand what this regime is doing to the people of Guyana.
Meanwhile, President Ali has stated that he is open to speaking with anyone about any issues and that refusing to shake hands was impolite and did not set a good example for young people. Additionally, at the rally on Tuesday night, a Partnership for National Unity, Alliance for Change, and the Working People's Alliance signaled they would block future elections with what they regard as a padded voters list and pressured the government to address other concerns. Norton further added that the struggle for a clean voters list would be linked to removal of the retired Justice Claudette Singh as the chairman of the Guyana's Elections Commission. According to Norton, she has been voting consistently with the PPP elections commissioners to make decisions. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Soared.
Thanks, Esther. A 49-year-old man was shot during an alleged break and enter of the EBS supermarket located at Lot 70 Suicide Junction during the early hours of this morning. Lloyd Thomas of Brant Sand Road, Sousdike, East Bank, Demerara, was discovered shot by a business owner and Chinese national Zhu Jianhua in his supermarket. Enquiries disclosed that Jianhua operates a supermarket in the bottom flat of a 3-story concrete structure on Sousdike Public Road. He and his wife also resides in a small apartment at the back of the supermarket, separated by a metal steel door. Jianhua alleged that around 2:30 a.m. he was awakened by a banging noise coming from his metal door. He got out of bed to open his bedroom door when he heard a gunshot and saw a male with his face covered with a mask lying down at his door with blood coming from his head. He alleges that he saw 2 men run out of the building through a hole he figured they created to gain entry into the supermarket. The police were called in and Thomas was taken to the emergency unit of the Diamond Diagnostic Center for medical treatment. He is presently under police guard. A 9mm spent shell was recovered at the scene. CCTV cameras were seen on the building but are yet to be viewed. An investigation is ongoing while police are currently hunting for the other suspects. Stick around after the break. The Hydromet office predicts rain for the remainder of the year and Mobile Money Guyana launches her venture app.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for doing surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Mobile Money Guyana has launched the Her Venture App 2.0. Mobile Money Guyana has collaborated with Sherry Blair Foundation for Women, Action Invest Caribbean Incorporated, and their partners to bring an innovative solution to all female business operators through the Her Venture app. The app provides women with the training, financial tips, learning, and opportunities for growth. This launch coincides with the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security's push towards training thousands of entrepreneurs through the WIN program. The app will teach women how to understand, monitor, and integrate mobile financial technology into their businesses, analyze customer needs and preferences, and help them make the right business choices. It will give women the opportunity to establish and expand their businesses. Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vinay Prasad, noted that the mobile money track, in collaboration with the WIN program, will ensure that women's lives can benefit from upscaling and learning in immeasurable ways. She urged all women to download and utilize the app as well as apply all the knowledge and skills learned. She said the Her Venture app would be launched in every region in Guyana before the end of the year. Esther Soared provided an update on the case being investigated by the Guyana Police Force involving the death of a Berbice businessman who was discovered dead in his home on Monday. Here's more.
Police were able to find a significant piece of evidence in the murder case of 53-year-old East Kanji businessman Vikram Subaran. Investigators in Berbice recovered Subaran's cell phone at the main suspect's house in Betsy Grong, East Kanji, Berbice. This was confirmed by the brother of the deceased, Glenn Subaran. The cell phone was easily recognized because their sister had bought it for the businessman some time ago, and they were still in the possession of the purchase receipt. The prime suspect, who frequently visited the victim's home, was one of the 3 people detained by police on Monday. During questioning, he broke down and admitted to killing the businessman by stabbing him. Reports are that Subaran's body was discovered around 6 a.m. lying on the kitchen floor in a pool of blood, with a visible stab wound to his neck. Dean Subaran, a brother of the deceased, claims that a female relative who works at the residence made the findings. The perpetrator reportedly gained access to the house through a kitchen door that was opened. According to information received, Subaran and the suspect shared a close relationship. On Sunday evening, Subaran invited the male suspect over. However, it is alleged that Subaran made his sexual demands, and a subsequent argument led to an altercation, during which the suspect grabbed a knife and stabbed Subaran in his back. He allegedly admitted to the investigators that he had no plans to murder Subaran. The police are continuing the investigation into the matter. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Silvers.
Thanks, Esther. The National Flood Monitoring Task Force, led by Prime Minister Mark Phillips, convened yesterday to assess current flooding in regions 1, 7, and 10. The senior government official stressed that the relevant response mechanism must be in place to facilitate any needs that may arise from the hazard impacts, including relocation to shelters, food and cleaning supplies, and medical assistance. This assertion came on the heels of the Hydromet Service's prediction of rain for the remainder of the year. The prolonged expected forecast indicates that rain will continue throughout the remainder of the year, similar to 2021. The Civil Defense Commission has confirmed that Matthews Ridge in Region 1, Iterembang, Ikirikuru, Winamu, and Papisho Landing of Region 7, and several villages including Kokwani and Lamp Island in Region 10 are currently inundated. Assessment teams are at the various locations and are working with pertinent agencies to ensure that waterways are cleared and residents are safe. The Prime Minister assured members of the meeting that numerous flood-prone areas are being monitored based on weather predictions, and while relief response is essential, the ideal mitigating action would be to have persons relocated from low-lying and riverine sectors. He expressed disappointment that many residents are reluctant to move to higher ground, but also understands their perspective. The government of Guyana will continue to render aid where necessary during times of hazards and disasters, and urges all residents to take precautions to ensure their safety and to report impacts to the National Emergency Monitoring System, a 24-hour hazard reporting hotline that can be reached on 600-7500. Don't go away after the break. Nigeria ramps up construction of pipeline delivering gas to Europe, and Fiji struggles with relocations amid climate change crisis.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly or ABS hard side material with 4-wheeled spinners and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Here now is Esther Silvers with today's regional and international news.
Good evening. Now we take a look at news in the region. Despite more stable economic conditions, Venezuelans continue to flee the country in search of a better life. Al Jazeera Alejandro Rampayetti reports.
On the dusty hills surrounding Cucuta, Venezuelan migrants have been building makeshift neighborhoods as they struggle to make a living in Colombia. A year after settling here with her family, Carolina Jerez and her husband have not been able to find permanent jobs.
Paying rent has been very difficult. That's why I try to help sell the empanadas and coffee. But obviously I don't make much, $3 or $4 per day.
Cucuta is the main entry point for millions of Venezuelans who have fled the country's ongoing economic and social crisis. Colombia has implemented a number of welcoming policies, including a temporary protection status to help them access services, education and formal jobs. But volunteers at this soup kitchen say many migrant children continue to go hungry.
For many, this is the only meal they get during the day. There is so much need and more keep coming. And the worst is that when they arrive, they don't have a place to sleep. And we're talking big families, 10 to 15 people.
Since the pandemic, growing inflation and economic hardships in Colombia has convinced hundreds of thousands to return to Venezuela last year.
But the latest report published by the Colombian government seems to suggest the opposite, saying that just in 6 months between September 2021 and February 2022, 34% more Venezuelans have arrived, bringing the total number to 2.5 million.
With the assistance of international donors, the regional government has quietly built a number of temporary shelters along the main migrant route, providing basic healthcare, meals, and emergency protection for the worst cases. But some officials say it's not enough, and they need more financial assistance from donors.
Despite important assistance by the national government, hospitals are again dealing with $30 million in debt for assisting migrants. And we need new schools and teachers. We're worried. Colombia has made a huge effort. It also requires giant international assistance.
Some hope that the arrival of a new Colombian government promising to re-establish relations and international trade with Venezuela will help, offering much-needed opportunities for Venezuelans on both sides of the border. Alessandro Ampietti, Al Jazeera, Cúcuta.
Internationally, Nigeria is ramping up efforts to finish the construction of a pipeline that will help deliver its gas to Europe. It's also trying to triple its reserve as prices and demand for gas surge due to conflict in Ukraine.
Nigeria is a country in a rush. Its Trans-Sahara gas pipeline that's been on hold for decades is now active. Africa's biggest oil producer wants to cash in on rising gas prices as Europe looks to reduce reliance on energy from Russia.
We're in the process of building a pipeline, a gas pipeline from here to Algeria, targeting the European market. We are also building a pipeline from the West African gas pipeline to Morocco, also targeting Europe. So what the Russian and Ukraine crisis has created is additional market for our gas.
He says Nigeria can make up for supply shortfalls for many European countries, but would need more of their investments to speed up delivery. Global prices of gas have soared in the wake of the war in Ukraine, with Europe accusing Russia of waging an economic war. Nigerian officials say many European investors who've been pulling out investments in fossil fuels here are slowly coming back. The country has proven reserves of 206 trillion cubic feet of gas. Now it's aiming to triple that in 8 years, as interest in crude oil is waning. For decades, oil companies operating here treated gas as a nuisance, capping or flaring it. As the rest of the world struggles with high prices and shortages, Nigeria burns 30% of its gas every year, a resource it could be capitalizing on as developed economies look for alternatives to Russian supplies. Industry analysts say the current global gas supply challenges are an opportunity to grow the sector.
I think we should be talking a lot more about, increasing the LNG opportunities that we have, than really talking about this pipe. But that seems to be what government seems to be focused on.
But the biggest challenge for Nigeria is funding. It's hoping the conflict in Ukraine could give many countries a reason to rethink their investments in gas as a transition fuel to cleaner energy. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Port Harcourt, Nigeria.
And finally, the people of Fiji want a developed nation that contributes most of the global warming to not only curb their emissions, but to pay for the damage done to their land and homes. Al Jazeera's Zillian Wolf has the story.
Village elders in this remote island in the South Pacific always believed they would live out their days here, on prized land where their chiefs lay buried. But these are the tombstones of that sacred land, submerged by the ocean.
We miss this community so much, because we learned many things about custom, tradition, the way of life here, as we are Fijian, how we link to the soil, how we link to the land we live, and our culture, we understand as we were taught from our parents.
Selosi Ramatua is the former headman of the Vunidogoloa village, the first Fijian village to suffer the effects of climate change. Water had risen up to people's knees, and salt water had destroyed the ability to grow crops. Now the area is nothing more than a ghost town. A little further inland, in the site of their adopted home, children play with their feet firmly planted on dry ground. But their elders often return to the old village to reconnect with their past. They want developed nations to pay for the damage done to their culture and their abandoned homes.
We want to say if the world can work together, the leaders of the world can work together in any means to combat into the impact of climate change. To make a decision.
Fiji is an archipelago of hundreds of islands, some 2,000 kilometers north of New Zealand. It's the first Pacific island nation to have relocated a community because of rising sea levels. Samisi Madanawa and his family are next. Located along the coast of Fiji's mainland, his village isn't what it once was. He and his family now weigh up the cost of moving to higher ground.
It takes time. It takes time for an idea to settle in the hearts of us human beings so that we can accept the changes that are coming.
Changes that are proving difficult for the growing list of people displaced by climate change. Gillian Wolfe, Al Jazeera.
Thanks, Esther. That is all for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. That is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.